Hi, this is David Domas with WhyBuyFromYou. This video is a collection of sales-related advice from the Ask GaryVee and GaryVee YouTube channels. You will find many unique perspectives and powerful techniques on the sales process. These are the same techniques Gary Vaynerchuk used to grow his company rapidly. I hope you enjoy and look forward to your feedback.
Zach, wonderful question for everybody in client services, agency life. This should be fun. Number one is, what is your KPI? What's your key performance indicator? Like, what is the thing that you want us to accomplish? Is it views? Is it sales? Is it perception? Is it press? Is it your own judgment on how you feel about the creative? How are you judging us? What are the results? And they're really separate. How are you judging us? What are the results? Are number 1A and 1B that matters the most. And then really the third one would then be, what are you willing to tell me about your warts? Meaning, there's just a lot of people that are not gonna tell you about the politics that are an issue, the money that's an issue. I'm always trying to get them to be very truthful to us once I understand what the issues at hand are. So, what do you really want to accomplish? And by the way, people struggle with answering that. People struggle with answering that. Number two, how are you gonna judge me? Sometimes they struggle with that, less. Number three, what are the warts? Most people don't want to tell me up front. We try to sniff them out early so we can navigate them. And it's a minefield to get to the finish line. Those are the three, and they're very important questions and trying to figure out in every situation, in absolutely every situation, in dating, in building your own business, in having clients. I really think those three are super fun. And by the way, they're very important equally. I think, for example, people that struggle with dating are spending way too much on number three. They're so concerned about what the person's warts are, skeletons in their closets. They're not trying to figure out how they're being judged to be a good partner in that relationship or how that's gonna be scored. And so having a great balance of all three, that's a little nugget there. Give you a little fun fact at the end of this question. It's the 33% execution of those three questions that may be equally as important. Bill, am I happy with you? Because you've asked a question that means so much to me and is something that so many of you are confused by. Bill, I really appreciate you, and I'm not trying to sting, but it might feel a little like that. Trying to make a right hook feel like a jab is what 99% of salespeople and businesses do that end up failing. It is in the clear honesty and clear track of, when I want to do something nice for you, I just do it. A la this show. I just want to take 15 to 20 minutes of my day to share the God-given wisdom and the work experience, and I want all of you to watch it, and I want this in return. Now, come 15 months from now, 18 months from now, whether it's a book, whether it's a seminar, whether it's an event, whether it's me selling rare toys, who knows what it might be, then I will clearly say, buy this friggin' rare toy. It's $9.99, buy it now. But up until that point, I will have very clear, there'll be no show where you're watching the show and behind the scenes right now, there's subliminal music pumping, buy the damn cat for $9.99. There is none of that. And so there's a massive confusion in the marketplace, Bill, that people want to disguise the sale, and there is no disguise. Authentically, all in, all of it, all in. Give when it's time to give. On the flip side, there's a crap load of Mother Teresa's and think it's so nice and awesome, and if you're just good, it's good. No, you need to sell. So when you sell, you say, I'm selling. I am selling this, and I feel comfortable. When I put a link out, buy my book. It's out. Buy it. If I've done anything for you, buy it. So, the answer to your question is very simple. There is no version of that. That is a losing mentality and execution, and I highly recommend that you take it and you split it very hard apart, where the jabs are clear and where the right hooks are clear.
But one of the kind of objections that we get all the time is, we have people who do this, or our kids do this, or, we've got people internally who do this, and it's,
I tell them that there's a big difference between the way I play basketball and the way LeBron James plays basketball. There's no accident that Ella's the best you've got.
Right.
You just tell them right to their fucking face that we're better at it.
Yeah.
And if they say, well, we don't value the difference between our B player and your A player, Then you say Mazel Tov and you go into the next building.
Yeah.
Don't dwell on that conversation. Tell them right to the face what you believe and move on.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, it's that basic.
Yeah.
What, are you gonna try to convince the unsellable?
Right.
I don't give a fuck what your excuse is. It's the excuse and I'm leaving.
Right. That's a good point. Did you get that when you
Constantly, and I was the guy.
Yeah, I was saying that's right. You know,
I was the fucking guy and I got it. And I said, great, I'll see you in 2015.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's.
And so the companies that passed on paying me $5,000 a month came in 4 years later paying me $80,000 a month.
Awesome.
They fucked up.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Because they deserve it.
Yeah.
But I didn't dwell on it or waste my time building my business.
Yeah.
Get over it, move on, and go to the next person.
Yeah.
There's unlimited people you can actually get to.
Yeah, we think that space is, you know, so much opportunity there.
Next.
So the next one.
But
was,
you need to really nail that one in your brain.
Uh-huh.
It will be the best thing that happens to your business.
Awesome.
Sitting in your bed crying about the girl that didn't want to go out with you for a year is not going to let you find the next girl.
Yeah, agreed.
Next.
Agreed.
Very good, Warren. I like that. So I call this hunting and farming. Do you want to hunt and get new ones? Do you want to farm and grow the ones you have? I think way too many people don't realize the answer is both. Why not both, Warren? Why not both? And when you're super duper, duper duper talented, you can do both. That's how you go from 30 to 500 people in a flash. There's no rather, Warren. I just want both. Like you know, you want both. You want both. You want both. I just don't understand salespeople. It's you know, it's actually a really interesting trait that allows somebody to be a good salesperson. It comes down to empathy. Are you able to put yourself in the other person's shoes? I know what I want. I know how I want it to be, but the reason VaynerMedia has been successful is because I haven't been stubborn about forcing all of my clients who are $9 billion companies to do it my way. I'm a speedboat. You know, me as a brand and a person, as a human, I'm too teeny tiny. VaynerMedia small, 100 million small. 100 million small. Like my Pepsi client, you know, they break that much product in a month. Small, not really, but you know, small. And so you need to be empathetic. I know how you want it to be. I know when you're hitting me up for 15 minutes of my time, what you want out of it. What do I want out of it? What do I get out of it? And that's what I do 24/7, 365. I check my wants at the door when I go in sales mode, and that's the flip reverse of how most of you roll. And that's why I win. The combination of running the marathon, I don't need it right now, I'm patient as fuck, and I really give a shit about what you want. It's why you like me. It's why this content works. It's why all these things work. Because I think about you. I don't think about myself. And so we need to deploy empathy. You think you're a good salesman? Show me by deploying massive empathy and awareness to the other person. They're not stupid. They don't not get it. They don't get it the way you want it, because usually it's for you. The amount of you trying to sell me right now in the comments on Insta, I know what you want, but if you're trying to sell it to somebody, you need to understand what they want. That just came out of straight living. Knowing what I just did the last 12 hours and then going in these comment sections and people just not deploying empathy. If you want something, you need to reverse engineer the other person. Eric, I once made a video, and let's link this up down here below, and let's put it up right here. Can you guys make another video move in here, or is it just gonna be a still shot?
Yeah, if it's on YouTube, we can do it.
We can make it beautiful. There's a famous video I made where I cold call people for customers, right? And it was something people really loved. And that's my answer. To get the first 10 customers, you have to grind. Sorry, D-Rock, I know I screwed up your, but you have to grind. What I mean by grinding is you have to just reach out to every single person. Like you just have to roll up on people and be like, hey, will you buy my stuff? Yeah. There was one customer. So that was awesome. Did you catch her in the background or no? I mean, you just have to ask. So go to every single person in the world that will possibly buy your thing and ask them to buy your thing. Shaitan, you know, I'm gonna say something pretty interesting. I have pretty extreme views on this question, meaning I think the answer to the question is brute force. I never waver, ever, ever, You know, when a client's pushing back and they're like, well, this isn't gonna work, I push back equally with 10% more gusto in the other direction, which is, it works. I see it work all the time. I see it work for myself. I see it work for my clients. I see it work for other people, and you're just not doing it right. We haven't had enough time to pull it off yet, blah, 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 blah. So unwavering. And then number two, equal with my unwavering, I just don't give a crap if they fire us or give up. I just don't. I know how this is gonna play out. I love being on the right side of history, and I'm willing to give up my short-term money for the long-term I told you so sucker. Let me just say that again, and this is what makes me a happy person with clients. This is why I can do client services. I am willing to give up my short-term money for my long-term I told you so sucker. And that's it. So I win either way. I win if I'm able to forcefully convince them to stay the course. I keep my monies. I win if they say, get out of here, you're fired, because I'm gonna see them on the street in 3 years and be like, now what, punk? And I love that feeling. I like that more than the money, actually. Thus, it's all good for me. Let me give you a really good piece of advice, and we're gonna end it on this. Never say no for the other guy. It's the best thing I ever told AJ. Don't make a decision for the other side of the table of why they're gonna say no. Just do everything and then let them say yes to the thing that they like.
That's the answer I was looking for. Thank you so much.
And by the way, my friend, when you pitch people, mix it up. Sometimes come in with a lower price. Sometimes come in with bravado. Sometimes come in with humility. When you actually try to get to 97 people and you get 17 meetings, you actually get the chance to try 17 different moves. If you're like 99% of people and overthink everything and have one meeting a month and one at bat, you don't get the chances to try the different shit that might actually unlock what the real answer was.
So you chop that strategy all the time to get just better results and stay with it.
In life, if you have 97 chances and 11 people say yes, that's the game. Everybody's trying to play a game of, I'm gonna get 3 chances and get 3 people to say yes, and then 3 people say no, and they cripple like a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And that's it, like that's the game. Like, one thing I don't understand, so many of you are just starting out your shit and you're fucking fancy. Everybody got real fancy for having nothing. Like this entitlement, or you're gonna have some perfect strategy. It's the grind. You know, of course you should come in cheaper. It's a way for you, like when you have no reputation, to get the gig, including free. D-Rock, how much you charge me for the first video?
0.
Bang. That's it. You know, Andy's mom was making fun of him for his salary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You gotta grind, right, Ant? My friends made fun of me for my salary in my 20s and 30s. You work all the time, I make more money than you. Now what, dick? like, great, you won 1999. Congrats. 40-year-old me would be disappointed right now if he saw the 40-year-old me in salesmanship, because he would have realized, he's picked up some shit along the way that I didn't have just from my natural skills. So the answer is, unbelievably, and if you're watching right now and you are building a business and you are not a natural born salesperson or are great at it, and you are self-aware enough to know that, you need to either get a family member, aka these guys, like really in your inner circle that are gonna be there long term and allow them to, or even bring in a partner. It is that important. And if you're a good salesperson, never allow yourself to not continue to learn, try different tactics, do different things. Experience has made me better. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg. And that's literally how I think about this. I mean, the fact of the matter is you gotta go in for the kill, just much like Karate Kid, where that quote's from. His teammates like, sweep the leg, Johnny, like go in for it. How do you throw a right hook? Honesty. You know what a good Super Bowl commercial is, in my opinion? Hey, I'm Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm the CEO of Toyota. I want you to buy cars from us. Let us know how we can make that happen. That's a good Super Bowl commercial. Because forget the pony and the eagle and the cute dog and everything else. You want to sell cars. And I think that Americans, you know what? Let's do a test case right now. What's Jab, 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 right hooks Amazon ranking right now? I'm going to show you, Johnny, how to sweep the leg. What's the Amazon rank right now on Jab? Do you know how to find it? I know how to find it real fast since I look at it all the time. You probably don't, India. I mean, all the time when I'm selling, I haven't looked at this in months and months and months. 2,847, that's the rank. Ready? Everybody who's watching this show, it would mean the world to me to be able to land the right hook I'm throwing right now. A lot of you have the book already. So it's hard for me to ask for, how much is it on Amazon right now?
Right now, it
$17.43 and Kindle? $14.99. I am asking every single person who's watching this show right now to buy one jab, 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 right hook. It would mean a lot to me. I would prove my point to Johnny. I would equally benefit from that because I make $1 to 3 cents or $3 per book or whatever it is. At this point, I'm done promoting jab, jab, right hook, but it's the most tangible thing that we can all watch together. I'd like you to buy more. If you were ever thinking about buying it for your staff, you can send one for your Kindle. Anybody who's watching, and if you've watched more than 25 shows of the Ask Gary Vee show and you don't own a copy of Jab, 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 Right Hook, you need to. That is absolutely a must. And so that is my right hook. And honestly, Johnny, that is, and obviously, I don't know how you can link up. Obviously, you can't go to Amazon, but like link it in the comments. And that's a right hook. You just honestly ask. You try to create some guilt around it. Like you've watched 30 shows. Can't you give me 15 bucks? You try different angles. You just go straight for it. You don't hedge. You ask for the sale of jab, 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 right hook. What happens in real estate, which is what happens in so many other industries, is we default into selling too much and not enough into branding. I love selling. Let me tell you the best way to sell in the world. Have the customer come to you without you doing anything. You didn't buy your Nikes. I would argue that everybody in this audience right now bought 85 to 90% of the clothes they're wearing right now because of brand, not because of sales. It's interesting, great question. Thank you for heeding the call for better video, better scenery in the background. I'm sure there's a bunch that are pent up from a month or two ago. You know, it's funny, they're one and the same. I'm very aggressive. And I very aggressively go after the person and say, look, as quickly as possible, I want you to trust me. Tell me what you want. What is in your vested interest? If I can figure out what that person wants. And first I go with honesty. And you know what's funny? When somebody's negotiating with you, they don't want to give you honesty. You know? And actually I use it as a tactic to build a relationship. If I go at somebody and say, look, yeah, and by the way, you guys know this with salary. Some of you know this with salaries. Like it's how I negotiate almost everything. It's like I just want to know. Because by the way, if you say, hey, I want to pay VaynerMedia $4 a month and I want $4 a month, well then we just saved a lot of time. I'm like, cool, let's do it. So I think my best tactic has been the same, which is honesty, truth, and aggressiveness to extract the truth from the other person. You know, I'm naturally a counterpuncher, right? In my marketing and definitely in my negotiating. It's like, what do you want to happen for how much? And if I can get them into a truthful place. Now, one of the keys to my strategy is drawing a line in the sand. When I say to somebody, give me your best offer, and if I can hit it, I'll do it. If they then give me an offer that I can't do, I have to say no, and I can't move. So it's just all grounded in truths. So I think you have to know what you want, and I think you have to try to extract from the other person what they want, and you need to try to make them feel comfortable that you're in their best interest. One thing I do is I point to my career at this point and let them know that I've done everything on lifetime value, that I don't need to make as much money up front. It's all about the long term. And so I require that from my people, I require that from my partners. And so I just think the right way to go there is go right at it. Go, look, what's gonna get this deal done? Like, for me, I'd rather leave profit on the table to get the deal done quicker. I think too many people want to guess the higher number. Like, let's say I want $8,000 for this. I think too many people are like, 12,000, instead of saying to them, how much is it gonna get done? And if Stefan says 7,500, if I'm okay with that, even though I want 8,000, I'm like, good, done, let's go. Speed, movement, trust, relationship, finding a place where you can trust that person, you're on the same page. That's how I see it. Austin, I think you need to reverse engineer who you're selling to. So if I were you, Austin, I would spend all of January taking people out to lunch and dinner or a drink or getting them on the phone, but literally spending the entire month of January not selling to people and just listening to the people that you sell to figure out what their pain points are. I would walk in and be like, hey, D-Rock, you know I sell you computer stuff and things of that nature. What are your pain points? What's your problem? What's your struggles in your business? Like, let's cut the crap. Like, yes, I wanna sell to you, but let's take a step back. I want to sell to you by providing you some sort of value. Maybe I have a friend. Maybe I will recommend that you watch the Ask Gary Vee show to make your business better. Maybe I'll do a lot of things, but what I'm doing is I'm providing you value, and our conversation and our relationship is not just predicated on me selling. You know, it's kind of like I was talking to one of my friends. He's like, I want to have better relationships with girls. I'm like, cool. Why don't you make it something about other than sex? Like, if your whole relationship is like, I want to hang out with you every time to just hook up, there's probably a good chance that person doesn't think that you're providing them much value outside of that execution, which is a fine execution, everybody needs it, I get it, blah, blah, blah. Same way I think about sales. If you're just selling every single time, that is what your foundational relationship is based on. And you become spam and sales all the time. Why don't you spend all of January not selling ever once and opening your ears and listening and trying to help even outside of the context of you? Even outside the context of you. Meaning, how can you help them besides just their business? Maybe you'll get to know D-Rock and find out that his aunt is a huge Dallas Cowboys fan and you just get a Dallas Cowboys hat. Say, hey, you go to eBay and buy, a Tony Dorsett opened starting lineup for 49 cents, $3 shipping, but you send in and say, hey, give this to your aunt. It's not what you spent, it was the thought. That stuff matters.
I've always found it really interesting. You create all this content, you put it out there for free, and a lot of people kind of question that. They go, well, why would you do that for free? But I'm a strong believer you need to give these insights out for free and ultimately build that connection. So for any sales professionals watching, where would you advise that they start in terms of creating their own content or sharing their content, adding their own context as well?
Before I go directly into the tactics of should you make a video, should you do a written blog post, or should you do a podcast, I think the bigger thing is, and I think you get this as well, is you have to reverse engineer who you're trying to get to. If you're a salesperson out there right now, if you're trying to get to me, and so many of you are, I get 50, 70 bulk emails, bulk direct messages, bulk Twitter direct messages, Instagram, business cards, all sorts of weird stuff sent in the mail. I'm busy.
Right.
I'm busy, and I'm just not interested in you selling to me, not because I don't like you, because I respect the game, it's because I'm just busy. Mm-hmm. It's nothing personal. So I think the first thing you have to do is reverse engineer the person. Because I'm not in the market to buy anything, I'm gonna be tougher. But if I need certain software, if I need something, that's a good time to attack.
Right.
So I think the number one rule of salespeople is to listen. Know your audience. Know what they did. If you see an M&A just happen, if you see layoffs just happening, if you see if I see Burger King doing something, I'm thinking, what does McDonald's think of this? Right. So that's number one. Number two, where are they spending time? I'm easy to sell to if you realize that I'm spending time on social networks, but I'm not gonna want you to spam me in my direct message with a link and no context. You should be producing content for me to see it in my feed. I think to answer your question directly, everybody as a salesperson has to figure out how do they best communicate. Is it written word? Is it audio? Is it video? Is it in person? And how to use the digital world in audio, written, or video form to create the gateway drug to in-person. One thing that people are very confused by me is I don't even do phone calls, sales calls. Mm-hmm. I need to see you face to face. I'm supposed to be this digital guy, and I need to see you. I use digital, and I use all my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Medium as gateway drugs to this. Mm-hmm. So I think anybody who's a salesperson, if you're an entrepreneur or startup and you're not producing content at scale, podcast, video blog, blog posts, random Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube clips, then you're losing. That is unacceptable in 2016. That is losing DNA. If you're not producing content for social networks and the mobile device and the platforms on it, right, you basically don't exist. Mm-hmm. A stunning amount of people behind that camera right now are not gonna be successful in sales because they're not willing to work hard enough. Mm-hmm. They love the automation. They love your product. Right. You guys do great. They love all these tools. The problem is, if you have the greatest hammer and the greatest screwdriver and the greatest wrench, the greatest, in front of you, mm-hmm, if you don't use them properly, you will lose. Right. If there's a nail that I have to put in that ground, but I take the wrench and I hit it when the hammer was right there, it still comes down to the practitioner. Mm-hmm. And you have to be good at your craft, and you have to love if you don't love sales, if you don't love it, you have no chance. Because it's so hard, it's so painful, there's so much rejection. Right. So those are the things I think about.
So technology is clearly an enabler, as you've just said there, though.
Yes.
The person is equally important.
More important.
Right, and going back to
I just apologize for jumping in, but let me make it perfectly straight. If I go play Roger Federer right now in tennis, and I have the greatest tennis racket ever made, taken from the Mars's new resources, right, and he took a John McEnroe 1974 tennis racket, he would whip my ass. I'm crushing salespeople that have every Salesforce, every one of your competitors, 37 features, upgraded, went to every pro conference, watching this. I will beat their ass in sales every day of the week.
Right.
Pure talent.
Right. So Gary, look, we're nearly up on time. We'd love any closing thoughts from you for sales professionals, whether at a startup, at an enterprise. What should they go out and do today, tomorrow?
I look at sales very differently than the far majority. I think way too many salespeople are impatient. I think way too many salespeople are transactional. I think way too many salespeople are lowest common denominator, spam, blast LinkedIn, email bulk, business card, business card, business card. So I think I've got a different tactic on sales, but don't get it twisted, it's what I am. If you're not happy with your upside, if you're not fully fulfilled, I think a lot of what you heard from me today, I'm doing things reverse of you. I think a lot of you are doing things that are directly in front of you. Numbers that they put in front of you, you're trying to achieve that because you have a beach house you want to buy or go on that vacation. Sales is a funny game if you work in a big company. They manipulate numbers to create your actions. I believe that the best salespeople are doing things in a different way. I think you need to care about the customer for real, reverse engineer them and give them what they need. And so I have a funny feeling that for 87.9%, arbitrary number, that 87.9% of the people watching right now, I'm a better salesperson than you because I'm the anti-salesperson, and I think that's the best salesperson. Think about that. Think about how you give yourself air cover to not do behavior that is short term. Please understand that the world has changed and the attention of the person you're trying to get to is moving into different places. And this big one, stop complaining. Salespeople aren't allowed to complain. The market is the market. Your bosses are your bosses. A great salesperson shuts their mouth and she goes to work every day and tries to bring value to the end user and is patient and over time wins the marathon of sales. Put yourself in that position.
Thank you for watching this video on Gary Vaynerchuk's sales techniques. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel to see the content I've already created, as well as new powerful content I upload regularly. Why Buy From You is dedicated to the reasons people buy, focused on sales, marketing, and branding.